Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Money has been used as the measure. Many times if a man does not have money to give us, we won't even let him see his children. We won't let him spend any time with it because he does not give us whatever the child support is. And I'm not saying that we don't need money to raise a child, but I try to explain to women that raising a child consists of much more than feeding, clothing, and sheltering it. That's maintaining one. To raise one, you need a return of the parental coalition of the father and the mother to put the proper values into the child. Many of our boys, when we raise them alone, they grow up with the female emotional mechanism. They are suspicious, they are doubtful, they're disrespectful of womanhood, they're bitchy, they can't make a decision. And many of our girls who grow up in a home where there's no man present, they go out into the world and try to mate. They don't have any idea how to live with a man day to day, how to prepare a proper meal, how to be a mother, how to just be in love in the home. Most of what our people and our children especially have learned about how you have a relationship, they learned off of television. And television doesn't represent our needs. And so a lot of the confusion has come from outside agencies that we have not recognized how detrimental it has been to us as a people.
I'm gonna be heartbreaking over him here now, nigga, cause they would never love. They was fake love. Like, bitch, I never did love you, nigga. Hell nah, the fuck. I don't need you to boy me. I can keep side nigga on my line. The fuck, nigga, fuck you. And look, this is gonna for me when he grow up. My son, he gonna be breaking female's heart when he grow up. He ain't gonna be calling his goddamn mama. The fuck, do you hear me? My son got his mama when he grow up. The fuck, he gonna be my protector. He gonna say, mama, fuck them niggas when he grow up. Mama, fuck them niggas. Mama, fuck them niggas. You don't need them niggas, mama. Okay?
I also do feel like women should finesse men. The fuck? Period. Seriously. Okay, I do feel like women should finesse men. Why not? If a man is not willing to give you what you want without you having to finesse him, finesse his ass. Get what the fuck you want. Period. That's it. I don't know.
Correctly with the correct amount.
And now for our feature presentation.
We live in an era when our cities are armed with steel and concrete. Computers and electronics barricade our minds. It doesn't change the fact that there exist a lot of strange phenomena, bizarre beyond reason or logic. Most folks just don't see them. That's because we cling to order, to any tiny happiness that comes our way, and we bust our humps to blind ourselves with our desires and our pleasures. There's a world of darkness out there, beyond time or space. A world filled with evil that is undeniably real. And in that world, there are things that run wild.
one fundamental difference between men and women is the understanding that violence can lead to death. And when I say that, I say it because when two men engage in violence, a fight, that fight can easily turn into someone being killed. The wrong drop on the head, a punch, a choke. You can easily break someone's windpipe. Someone can die. And that's why men have a certain level of respect for violence. Men who are masculine try to put violence as the last resort to solve an issue. Men who are not effeminized, see. Women do not see violence the same way as men. Women don't look at violence as something potentially fatal. Two women fighting is rarely fatal unless there's a weapon or a gun or something like that. But with men, it could literally be hand-to-hand combat and someone can die, even with two amateurs, right? And what I realized when I'm thinking about this, I think about the countless times women are violent with men, right? Get in a man's face and she's asking for violence from you because in her mind she feels that this situation won't be fatal, or maybe she's so emotionally out of her mind. Like, I think a woman, her emotions, she becomes drunk with emotions, literally high, like a dope fiend. It makes her crazy, like to the point where she can become just illogical. But I noticed this when I was thinking about that Cam Newton situation with that young boy, and most men can tell that they knew this boy was raised by a dominant woman who had no respect for the masculine frame, right? Cam Newton's what, 6'5", 6'6", some crazy nonsense. All muscle. He literally killed that boy without even trying. And because men respect violence, there's a certain way we carry ourselves amongst each other. You make eye contact, you give a nod, you give a greeting. But it's a greeting because we know that if this eye contact goes on too far, an extra 2 seconds, you automatically are now in a range of disrespect. Someone looks at you and now they feel like you are trying to stare them down. That's how easy it is for violence to become something. And women don't really understand that violence. When a man comes to a rage, the average man can literally take a woman's life with no weapon. If he really wanted to, in a rage, you understand? When that strength and adrenaline, triples your strength output and you can really do some damage. And I wonder often if these young boys who come up with all this violence, right? They have no respect for the consequences of violence because these women have treated these boys with such paper gloves all their lives that they don't really respect violence other than when a woman gets in their face. Some men will cower. They'll get a flashback of when they were getting beat with a belt. You see these videos of these men and, these women disciplining these men like children, beating them with belts and hitting them with objects and these men would literally flash back to their childhood in a second and become submissive and begging for it to stop as if it's his mother and he's 5 years old again. It's those sequences, that as men, we have to always recognize that these are some of the loud fundamental differences between a man that is actualized and a man who's still in that effeminized state of blue pill ooze, right? Because he doesn't respect that the violence between men can become fatal. But yet he has this bravado, this false bravery that these young men grow up with. They don't have any they can't fight, but they can always grab a gun. Because they mirror that same mentality of the women that raised them. Those irate women who, in a fit of rage, will go up against a 300-pound man knowing she's 5'1". And we look at that as some type of strength, right? And she doesn't see the violence. She actually believes that she can do some damage to you, or she believes that you won't hit her. She'll put on the peacock show as if she believes that the violence that she's asking for won't come, but she's putting on a show to have that false bravado, just like these young boys who poke their chests out, who try to be extra tough all the time, and feel so hypersensitive to disrespect even the smallest infraction. Men, these young boys walk around with their little pistols with their extended clips. You see these young guys in Chicago, these skinny, bony, malnourished young thugs. They go around in Chicago with their pistols, right? And they always have this I'ma come do something to you mentality online. They get on Facebook Live and they'll show their guns and they'll be like, we'll pull up and all this kind of nonsense. And as if they don't respect violence, like they don't respect that you can die too. These young rappers, they get killed. It seems like, I don't know if the frequency is more, but it feels like it's more than when we were younger. The rappers didn't die the way they do now, right? They get killed, they get shot, and nobody even respects that. It's just a part of what it is. But as men, you always have to move with an air about you, with the respect for violence, the understanding that any time you engage in a violent act with a fight, it can cost your life. It can easily cost your life. And then we have these young boys who in these fits of rage will take a life, right? And they get put on these pedestals for, committing these heinous acts. Bobby Shmurda, coming home from prison, he's almost heralded like he's Jesus returning. It's not like he was some phenomenal musician who made great music. He was a fucking clown. And now people feel like he has to be heralded in the midst of the Tekashi 6ix9ine snitching fiasco. Now he's being looked at as like, this is how you should act when dealing with street stuff. His song was about killing people and shooting and murdering. And this is the guy that Jay-Z brought out and said, this is the next one. And I wonder what would make Jay-Z feel like a kid like this is, this gang member is someone that you would want to put on a pedestal, someone who preaches violence and death. And it's a sad situation that when a black man comes home from prison, he is celebrated as if he just got his master's, or he just got, he's no short of pussy. People giving him money, parties. He'll have a girlfriend or two in a month. You know what I'm saying? It's like this crazy dynamic where a brother could come home from college and he'll just walk into an empty house and nobody won't say anything. They'll expect you to go out and get a job. Now it's time for you to go out and get a job. You'll come home to your parents, look, I graduated, and they'll be like, all right, well, better start getting on some interviews. You're thrusted into reality as a non-existent worker bee. But let you come home from prison. People, you see these videos of these women, they'll go up to the jailhouse and they'll twerk and they'll flash their titties and they'll do all of these things for these men in jail. These men in prison will get countless, prison guards pregnant So I don't understand what it's like. They come home and they're celebrated to the maximum, and then we propagate it with this Bobby Shmurda shit. This dude got a billboard up in New York saying "Welcome home." Like, these are the things that make me say the black community is a joke. It's a sham. It is a sad state of affairs. The mentality of it. You understand? Let you go to prison and come home after you lifted a couple of weights and did some push-ups. All of a sudden, you are looked at as this achiever. Oh, you went and got your GED. Oh, wow. And I'm not trying to knock anybody that's been to prison, but if any of you brothers went and did a stint, y'all know what it was like when you came home. Some of you didn't have that effect, but a lot of you did. People looked at you coming home as if you were a superstar. You were looked at as like a king. Even no matter how violent what you did, or if you killed people, or you sold drugs, you robbed somebody, you always get a second chance in the black community, especially with the black females, right? You could have killed 10 people, and you do 25 to life, 15 years, whatever you do. You come home and you can get a woman. She doesn't fear you being a killer. She doesn't care about your past and what you did. You get a clean slate. She'll love you even more. They love to tell the story about their boyfriend. He did his time and he did his thing, and they'll sit there and wait, and they'll come home and they'll love this man more. They'll talk about him as if, yeah, he got a job now, and I've been just holding it down, yeah, da-da-da. And if it's going hard, she's still gonna work 2 jobs and pay all the bills. Such a luxury. Such a life of luxury, being an ex-con in the black community. It's like they would throw a parade for you, throw roses at your feet. This is insane. This is insanity at its highest form. I don't understand why we treat ourselves like that. You as a black man, if you're working 9 to 5, man, nothing you do is forgiven. Everything you do is being logged and counted against you. Let you do something to one of your girlfriends as a working man who makes good money. All of a sudden she needs to cheat on you or leave you, or you just ain't no good. You know what I'm saying? She only counts what you do wrong, but never what you do right. What you've done for her. The one time she doesn't get what you want. Man, I've heard some crazy shit for some females, man. Like the time you can sit there and remember everything you do, and you might be like me. I'm not one of those guys who, if I do something for a person, I got to keep a log and throw it back in your face, you know? But oftentimes when you're dealing with these females as a regular working guy, anything you do is like a small grain of sand to a beach. And the minute she doesn't approve of you, she will log all of your wrongs and line them up against you as if you're just this horrible, useless man that is wasting her time. But let you come out of jail and not have a job or prospect of a job or any way to make money other than to get back to the bullshit you was doing to get yourself locked up. Just imagine the type of devotion you would get. You have to literally, you put her as the address for your parole officer. She'll feel like that was, she'll feel like, wow, what an honor. You stay at her house and, sleep in her bed, and she'll get you a fresh closet of clothes and Jordans, right? She'll take you to the DMV to get your license and your ID. You know what I mean? Get your social. Keep your favorite foods in the fridge, your favorite snacks. Get you a PS5. Just so when you're in the house, you comfortable while she's at work. You know? Make sure you got weed, you got some Hennessy all the time. She coming home with food and takeout every night. Making love and sucking dick all the time and making sure you just happy-go-lucky. Because, yo, you came home from prison. You are a king now. But let you be a black man who's been in the military. Fought actual war. Been in actual real combat. Organized violence. Organized, strategized, trained violence. With weapons, tanks, vehicles, knives, grenades, combat training, hand to hand, drones, bombs, RPGs falling, burying your comrades, losing friends, getting PTSD. Let you come home. Nobody gives a fuck. Let you come home from the military. While he sat in jail, doing push-ups, eating ramen noodles, reading books, jerking off every day, probably getting his dick sucked by some gay-ass trannies or some shit, doing all type of nut stuff, doing drugs and playing basketball and reading his little books. You know, getting his little GED. A GED in prison holds more weight than coming home with a degree from a college. Wow, he got his GED. Wow, he's really, yo, I'm so proud of him for not letting, you know, doing his time and not letting the time do him. This is the shit you hear in the black community. This Bobby Shmurda shit is fucking embarrassing, bro. It's embarrassing. It's a damn shame. How many kids graduated college this year? Despite remote classes and not being able to go to school. How many men came home from war, military, serving his country? Did a tour in Afghanistan, maybe 2 or 3. Got stripes and Purple Hearts and all type of shit. You come home, your wife is fucking your friend if you go to the military. You understand what I'm saying? Men go to the military, they get shipped off. As soon as they leave, their wife is fucking some dude in the neighborhood. Having some other man's baby. But let you go to prison. These bitches, I know bitches from back home whose boyfriends went to jail. These bitches would fucking be going on 2-3 hour rides on a bus to visit this dude for 45 minutes. Putting on their best outfit. I remember my homegirl was going to see her baby father in jail, and she was getting up at fucking 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning to drive to go see this bum. Was a fucking bum when we was kids. He was a bum when we were adults. Fucking loser. But for some reason, this fucking bum, who I swear was in special ed all of our lives in school, got with one of the prettiest girls from my high school. Prettiest girl since first grade till high school. Had a baby with her. Now she's just some fucking single mom on Instagram with butt shots and fake tit job, trying to be a fucking Instagram model now. You know what I'm saying? This is real shit. And they wonder why brothers say this shit is over. What's the point of me even playing this game, man? What do you have to do to get respect? You know? What, you gotta go out and kill somebody, catch some bodies? Be known in the neighborhood as, you know, he loose right there, that boy right there, he get down. He real, that's a real nigga right there. That's how they gonna talk about you, with respect. Because you kill black people. Because you have no problem killing another black man, handling your business. as they like to say. You get that respect. People, the women want to fuck you and all of that kind of shit. I ain't never seen a thug nigga who ain't have bitches in my life. I ain't never seen a thug who wasn't able to get plenty of pussy. I don't give a fuck what he was, fat, ugly. You know what I'm saying? Even if he wasn't no rich nigga. Just a wild motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't no rich dude pushing no Benzes. No, don't let you be getting money now. Psst. Man, listen. It's a sad thing, man, because black men aren't allowed to it's that we have to have money early. We have to have money now. We have to be rich. The delayed gratification to work and grind and try to solidify yourself for your future. You're supposed to, like I said, you're supposed to burn hard and burn out early. And they'll all dance around your flame like moths until it's gone or until you're gone. Because it's sad that we grow up and we don't realize our value because no one tells us. No one tells us how much we mean to them or how much we influence them or how much we motivate them or how much they respect us. Even if they do feel like that. Even your own friends won't give you that, that type of admiration. They won't state it. Black men will never tell another black man, yo, you great at what you do. You're awesome. I respect you, bro. You fucking inspire me. You understand? People rather get inspired by some fucking clown who comes home and they saying, I seen some post, man. Somebody said, Bobby Shmurda coming home just proves that God don't make mistakes. What the fuck, man? God don't make mistakes. If you stay down and do, God gonna work it out for you. Like, yo, this is what black people are looking for to get inspiration and motivation? Some little fucking guy who rapped about killing people in all his songs? Motherfucker got one song. One fucking song. And now we're acting like this dude has like this crazy catalog. Like, he said he came home to all these fucking plaques and money. Dude from the Migos giving him stacks of money and picking him up on private jets and shit. He getting picked up on private jets? Every fucking rapper out right now is tweeting, welcome home. All this free promotion. It's crazy to me. Just to see these different dynamics, man. They play out so much that we have to literally, it's hard to really take it seriously, man. And I just watched a video the other day of a black man, regular working man with 2 kids. This motherfucker got killed by the police in California for jaywalking. The cops stopped him for crossing the fucking street, walking home from work. And literally one of the cops was telling the other cop, like, yo, it's not that serious. It's all good. Yo, we don't gotta make it a big deal. You know what I'm saying? He's just coming home. He's just walking. But nope. They still run up on him, fucking with him, provoking him. He's trying to get home. He's mad and pissed off, of course. I got cops coming up to me for jaywalking. What are you doing? Ain't even nobody on the street. You just taking and then end up getting into a scuffle, One cop yell out, "He's got my gun. He's got my gun." For shits and giggles in effect. Next you know, he's dead. But Bobby Shmurda, his name is basically Bobby Murder, right? Because that's all he raps about is murder. He comes home and he's the son of the Most High in his eyes of the black folk on the plantation. Instagram followers shot up. He's gonna start making 30 grand per post on Instagram. You know how that goes. Once you get up into the millions. It's ridiculous, but this is our home. This is our home. They want us to be patriotic about this country. They want us to get reinvested, because America is a corporation. It's like a company. And its stock was dropping. People were learning how to take care of themselves. The internet created all these entrepreneurs and people were generating wealth. And when that happens, the government doesn't really seem relevant anymore because people can take care of themselves. The only time you need these leaders and mayors and governors and all these type of people and presidents is when people need something. They need the government to give something. But when people start doing for themselves, they lose their relevancy. The country becomes, less like, oh, I need to be here because people are now traveling. The world is smaller. People going to other countries and realizing, shit, my money goes long, I'm out. So now they got to get us emotionally reinvested in America again, patriotism and shit. And we stand here on the cusp of another year, everything closed down. Life is different. And I look at this shit, man, I can't believe that that we are still at a point where a motherfucker coming home from jail is the biggest news in the world. And now he's going to be looked at as the spokesperson on what to do if you're in criminal activities is not to snitch, right? We love this no snitching shit. We love this shit. It's sad, man. And all he's going to do, as he's supposed to do by his handlers, he's just going to come out, make more negative music, put out more, carnal frequencies to further hypnotize and toxify the minds of kids. He's going to put more death in the air, speak more murder and killing and drugs. You know what I'm saying? He's going to let the world know that he's back, and he's going to keep doing his duty to his employers, whoever that may be, that he's here to ruin the minds and spirits of black children forever. Long live Bobby Shmurda. The black community is gone, man. How many immigrants they got moving into the country? Sooner or later, they're gonna run you out of your own neighborhoods. You might as well just figure out where you want to be, man. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse, but eventually we got to make heads and tails of this shit. I'm not mad at a young man trying to make $1 in the rap game and all of this and all of that. But still in all, I start to think about the minds of the kids more now. When I listen to music, I listen to rap. I think about the things that music has put in my mind. The things it made me believe in. Things that I didn't need to believe in. Things that I gave credence to. You know, certain things I did when I was younger was based off the influence of my environment and being hyped up by music because it made it a fantasy, right? It infantilized it. It made it, you know, being in these little street capers and doing all this little illegal shit, it made it seem like it was just something to do because, you know, it's the life, right? The fast life, you know? But it has consequences. Violence has consequences. You know, irresponsible sexual behavior has dire consequences, right? The type of consequences that follow you for years and years. Same as street violence, financial irresponsibility. All this stuff leads somewhere, right? Like, you really have to make sense of this. Just always be mindful that everything you do starts a chain reaction that will cause a synapses to take place that might come back to you in a good way or in a bad way, right? You ever heard the term, the wings of a butterfly on one side of the earth can flap and cause a typhoon, a hurricane on the other side of the world? You know? The wings of butterflies that cause hurricanes. These actions, these things you see now, everything that's going on in the society has a consequence. Everything. This is what society tries to breed us to believe, that there's no consequences to any of this. It's just all living la vida loca, living life, because you only got one life to live. But you don't want to live your life at a certain point being broken mentally, physically. Your body's shutting down from all the drinking and drugging and, you know, bad decisions with your body, your temple, and your spirit. All of these actions, all of this social media addiction, the narcissism, the vanity, the gluttony, the over access to drugs and everything that we think is commonplace, all of this stuff is going to have a critical consequence, you know? Critical mass will be reached. We will be at a point where we will remember these days, and then we'll start to see the fallout of the way people think and operate and believe these falsehoods, you know, in this fake society, you know, in the plantation of the matrices of this fallen land. We are going to see the consequences. We're going to see the consequences of these kids when they get older, 10 to 15 years from now. These women when their looks run out, right? When the Instagram modeling is over. We're going to see the consequences of all of these psychological quirks that we overlook because it's just part of society now. But a lot of this shit is psychological dysfunction that is going undiagnosed. And there's going to be a point when we're going to have to take a real hard look at the consequences of these newfound psychological dysfunctions that are coming with social media and overstimulation, you know, hypermaterialism, hypersexualization. these are all going to come to a head. We're all going to have to sit down and think to ourselves, what in this world is important enough for me to gamble my future on it to obtain?
We live in an era when our cities are armed with steel and concrete. Computers and electronics barricade our minds. It doesn't change the fact that there exist a lot of strange phenomena, bizarre beyond reason or logic. Most folks just don't see them. That's because we cling to order, to any tiny happiness that comes our way, and we bust our humps to blind ourselves with our desires and our pleasures. There's a world of darkness out there, beyond time or space. A world filled with evil that is undeniably real. And in that world, there are things that run wild.